Welcome back to my channel. My name is Amna and you are watching my channel. So in this video we'll try to talk about the veterinary anatomy, which is very most important subject in studying the veterinary subjects. So most commonly the students belonging to the first year, they are given the subject. What is the importance of studying the veterinary anatomy? I have jotted down some of the points over here. Identification of the skeleton and the muscles to identify where the bones are located and which type of the bones, and to which bone the muscles are attached as well. To determine if an animal has sustained an injury, for example, if the animal has the injury in the head region, to identify where the injury has occurred, and also to understand the physical capabilities or limitation of a particular species, and to understand what happens in the nutrition and growth processes, how the bones are growing, what is the importance of nutrition in an animal bodies. So all these are important, and therefore we study the veterinary anatomy. Right, moving forward and talking about the Samuel Vittnal, Ernest Vittnal. He was an anatomist, and he rightly says that I cannot put before you too strongly the value and interest of the anatomy, neglected aspect of the anatomy. Many students first realizes its importance only when brought to the bedside or the operating table of his patient, when the first thing he is faced with is the last and least he has considered. Means he is saying that the most important thing is the anatomy, while the students belonging to the first year, they neglect this, and therefore when they are just beside the operating table, when they are just having the exposure of the animals, they only understand the importance of the anatomy at that time. Moving forward and talking about another quote says by the Claude Bernard. He says that the descriptive anatomy is to physiology what geography is to physiology. Right? As we know that history is nothing without the geography, in the same sense, the physiology is nothing without the anatomy. For understanding the physiology, normal functioning of the body, you must know about the anatomy of an animal. And just it is not enough to know the topography of a country to understand its history. And as we know that the topography is not enough for understanding the history. There are other aspects for understanding the history. So it is also not enough to know the anatomy of organs to understand their functions. For learning the physiology, the anatomy is not a single aspect. There are other aspects that are very important for understanding the proper functioning of the body of an animal. Moving forward and talking about the divisions in the anatomy, mainly there are two divisions, the gross anatomy and the microscopic anatomy. Gross anatomy is the one which you can see with your eyes, naked. For example, animal has died and you has dissected and you have taken all its bones out from the body, and then you go for the gross anatomy views, right? So gross anatomy mainly involves the dissection of an animal, while the microscopic anatomy or the histology does not always involve that. Right? Gross anatomy can be studied into following ways. The systematic ways, it involves the systems in the body, like there are many systems and you learn serially. Topographic anatomy is the surface anatomy. You learn by covering all the surface of an animal. Surgical anatomy is the one you understand that anatomy which is necessary for the surgical incision for the surgical purposes. For example, in the caesarean sections in the goat, the flank anatomy, the flank region is very important for having their caesarean section, C-section. So that is the surgical anatomy. Radiological anatomy always involves the CT scan, MRI, right? MRI and the X-rays as well. So these all involves the radiological anatomy. And the comparative anatomy is the one from which you compare the anatomy of one species to the anatomy of other species, right? Here we have why veterinary anatomy is difficult. Most of the students in their first year are craved to be saying like the anatomy is very difficult, although it is not at all as it seems. But this they make it difficult because there are a lot of species to be learned, right? There are many birds as well. There are domestic animals which include goats, sheep, and the buffalo and cattle. So therefore it seems like to be difficult, but although if you learn the anatomy of a one animal perfectly, then learning the animal anatomy of another animal is very easy. Moving forward and talking about the systematic anatomy, what involves. So, osteology, study of the bones, arthology, study of the joints, seismology, study of the ligamentous systems in the body, which are very important in the in connecting the bones to the bones, and the mycology, study of the muscles, biomechanics, biological systems, splanchnology, study of the visceral organs, angiology, study of the blood vessels and the lymphatic systems, neurology, study of the nervous system, organs of special senses, and the endocrine glands as well. So these are certain systems that are involved in the anatomy, right? So endocrine glands, as we know that there are two types of the glands, exocrine glands and another is endocrine glands. Exocrine glands are those glands that store their secretion into a duct system, right? Endocrine glands does not have any duct, they directly secrete their secretions into the bloodstream. We have the endocrine glands like the pineal glands and the pituitary glands, hypothalamus. They are the endocrine glands. Basics of the veterinary anatomy. So, what is anatomy? Anatomy is the science of the structure of the body. It is basically the study of the bones and the teeth. And the histology is also the anatomy, but it is the microscopic anatomy. In this, we mostly commonly study about the tissues of the body. There are other tissues like the connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle tissues. So these are studied under the histology, and the physiology is normal functioning of the body, and the pathology is the abnormal functioning of the body. And talking about the basic anatomical directional terms like the dorsal and the ventral, the slash does not showing the or, but it is showing the opposite side, right? For example, this one is the dorsal side, the back of an animal, while the belly side is known as the ventral side. Medial or internal, right, towards the body, medial, lateral, away from the body, or the external as well, right? For example, this is the body, this is the midline of the body. So a thing which is towards the midline, that is the medial, and which is away from the midline, that is the lateral, right? Cranial towards the head region, caudal towards the tail region, rostral towards the nose, right, and the caudal away from the nose. And there last is the proximal and distal. Proximal stands for towards the body, and the distal away from the body, right? Here in the sense you can say proximal towards the body. Proximal and distal are mainly used in the case of the bone, right? In bone, we most commonly use the three words: proximal, extremities, and distal extremities. And the another word is midshaft, right? In between of that midshaft. Moving forward and talking about these planes, you can see over here they are depicted in a very clean, clear means. You can see that this is the midline, right? We have already learned that there is a white line or the midline, which is also known as the linea alba. Linea alba starts from the xiphoid process and because it is in the middle line of the body, so therefore it is known as midline, and it is wide in structure, therefore it is also known as a wide line. Basically the cut from here, right, if you divide the body into the equal halves, into the right and left, that is a median plane, right? And the sagittal plane is also like the median plane, but it is not necessarily that you cut the animal, you divide the animal into the two equal halves. And another, we have the transverse plane. Transverse plane is the cross section from the neck over here, you can see, and it is a cross section from the belly, you can see over here. And this side is the cranial side, head region, and this side is the caudal side towards the tail region. And moving forward and talking about the anatomical planes, dorsal plane and the transverse plane, sagittal plane and the medial plane. Dorsal plane also known as the frontal plane, and the transverse plane, it divides the body into superior and inferior, head and tail portions. Sagittal plane divides the body into right and left portions, while the medial plane divides the body to the midline of the body. You can see over here, this is the frontal plane or the dorsal plane, this one. It is just dividing the body into the dorsal and the ventral regions. And here we have this one. This one is the transverse plane or the cross-sectional plane. And this one is the sagittal plane, which is dividing into the right and left portions. Moving forward and talking about here, this is the dorsal or the frontal plane, which is dividing the body into the dorsal and the ventral. Medial plane, which is dividing the body into equal halves, right and left from the midline. And the sagittal plane is also the midline plane, but from away from the median plane. And transverse plane is the cross-sectional plane. You can read these basic descriptions from here if you want, while I have conjectured all such points, very important points over here. So this is all about the basic anatomy. Hope you understand this. If you understand this and if you have gathered useful information from this video, so please subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. And thanks for watching this.